Welcome to the Aramark Occupational Safety Training Health and Safety Guidelines. But before we go any further, there are a few things you need to know. Let's find out more about health and safety. These guidelines will help you avoid safety risks while at work. Pay attention, apply them every day, and you can help create a safer workplace. With machinery, inspect the equipment before each use. Do not tamper with the equipment, such as removing or making ineffective any protective devices. Never leave potentially hazardous equipment running unattended, and do not engage in unsafe activities with or around the equipment. Make sure the switch is off, then unplug and lock out tag-out equipment before cleaning, adjusting, or repairing equipment. Always use equipment-specific lockout tag-out procedures. With electrical issues, faulty equipment shall be immediately removed from service, and proper lockout tag-out procedures will be followed. Ensure that you report any defects to your supervisor or manager, and do not repair unless trained. With fire, know where pull stations and fire extinguishers are located. Learn the evacuation routes and emergency procedures. Understand how to operate a fire extinguisher. With ladders, make sure to always inspect the ladder or step stool before use. Face the ladder when climbing, descending, and work with your feet securely on the rungs. Never stand, sit, or straddle on the top step. Never climb a leaning folded ladder, and never have two people working on the same ladder at once. For personal protective equipment, always wear the required PPE. Make sure to review the Safe Operating Procedures, SOP, and safety data sheets to identify appropriate protection required before completing a task or working with chemicals. With spills, never leave spills on the floor. Do not touch blood or any other bodily fluids, unless specifically trained to do so. Keep work area clean at all times and wear appropriate PPE. Immediately report leaks or slippery conditions. With storage, remember to place heavy or bulk items on bottom or middle shelves. Never climb on the shelving or racks, and never store glass containers on higher shelves. When lifting, never lift anything too heavy, and remember to plan your lift and move ahead of time. Make sure to keep your feet shoulder-width apart and get a firm grip. Make sure to bend at your knees, keep your back straight, and lift with your legs. With training, always follow safe operating procedures. Learn the safe way to do your job, and if you are not sure, ask. Never operate equipment unless you have been trained or certified to do so. Now that you have an understanding of some general health and safety guidelines, it is important to understand appropriate interaction at work. We have a zero-tolerance policy for workplace violence and workplace harassment. Workplace violence is the exercise or attempt to exercise physical force by a person against a worker in a workplace that could cause or result in physical injury to the worker. Workplace harassment is defined as engaging in a course of vexatious comment or conduct against a worker in a workplace that is known or ought reasonably to be known to be unwelcome. Harassment may result from one incident or a series of incidents. It may be directed to a specific individual or group, but may also include incidents that happen away from work. We are committed to protecting employees from harassment. The violence and harassment policy of zero tolerance can include, but is not limited to, the following examples: racial or ethnic slurs, written or verbal abuse or threats, unwelcome remarks, jokes, or taunts, including suggestions about attire, age, marital status, ethnic or racial origin, religion or sexual orientation, bullying, vandalism of personal property, patronizing or condescending behavior, and abuse of authority that could undermine performance or be threatening. All employees have the following rights in respect to workplace violence and harassment. Everyone has the right to work in an environment that is free from harassment and discrimination. The right to know about potentially violent environments or people in their workplace. The right to report incidents and have them immediately investigated and treated confidentially. The right to refuse work if they believe they are in danger of workplace violence. It is also your responsibility to immediately report any incidents to your supervisor or manager, human resources, or the employee hotline. Recognize the signs of escalating workplace violence or harassment, and participate in any training programs, safety talks, or assessments related to the workplace violence or harassment. Healthy workplaces begin with you, monitoring your own actions and avoiding unhealthy workplace relationships. Remember to demonstrate respect to others. Do not express discriminatory jokes, and consider how others would judge your actions. Remember, comments that are appropriate at home are not necessarily appropriate at work, and accept that we all work differently. We believe that incidents are preventable. Everybody is responsible for safety. Participation in prevention activities reduces incidents. We pledge to work together on creating a workplace that can achieve Target Zero, no harm to people or to the environment.